So welcome back to the MrBigKid channel. We're gonna go over the top 5 different types of home defense firearms out there. I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples. I'm gonna shoot a couple different examples for you guys as well, so I can kind of put some action to the words that I'm talking about. Probably gonna hurt some people's feelings. I'm probably gonna say something that you might not agree with. By the end of this video, one thing that I do want to get across, if you have something that goes bang, that's better than having something that does not go bang. So this guy is going to be the 5th of my top 5 home defense firearm types. Coming in at number 5 are going to be the full-size semi-automatic handguns. Here are a couple different examples. This right here is a Springfield XDM Elite OSP 9mm. This guy right here is my HK45, except I have a suppressor on this guy. This is the tactical version with the tall sights. And then last but not least, and this is the guy that pretty much stays on my night table, this is my Glock 45. Now I know a lot of these different guns can be considered compact guns. When I say full size, I mean something that takes a full load, full size magazine, something that sits big in the hands. The reason I'm saying full size is because even though I also EDC a very small gun, I EDC a lot of the different P365 series, the M&P Shield. So I do like the small guns, but the problem is I wouldn't necessarily recommend them. The smaller the gun, the lighter the gun, the snappier the recoil will be, the more messy your follow-up shots can be. If you have a heavy gun, if you have a large gun, especially like this guy, this is not heavy, but it's large. If you have a heavy handgun, that recoil is going to be minimal. The reason that this is all the way down at number 5 on the list is because I think a handgun, though it can be effective, you're still going to be somewhat limited when it comes down to possibility of a lot of intruders or making precise shots, especially under stress. I'm not saying a handgun is a bad choice for home defense. I do carry one by the night table. I carry one with me every day. I shoot a lot of handguns. Out of all the content I make, handguns are probably the number 1. You also got to remember, what kind of castle are you trying to defend anyways? Do you have a small apartment? Do you have a small house? Do you have a large house? Do you have a lot of corners, a lot of nooks and crannies? Do you have a lot of property around you that people could be in? Now this is the Springfield XDM Elite OSP. All right, XDM OSP. Let's go ahead and shoot it up. Let's look at another one. This guy right here, this is my Glock 45. This guy does have the Roscoe Bloodline barrel, which is a threaded barrel. I could use that when I want to suppress it. I don't have a compensator on this gun. For the most part, it's completely stock. I have the Holosun 508T GR X2, that's the green reticle version, and the Surefire X300 on it. Let me show you the last example. This is my HK45. This is a 45 ACP. Now, what's nice about this guy is this is the tactical version. It has a threaded barrel. This is completely stock minus the suppressor that I added to the end of it. So I love shooting this guy, and it kind of makes it so when I shoot, it's still loud, but I don't need ear pro. I used to keep this on my night table as my nightstand gun, but let's go ahead, load this guy up. That's it for the handgun category. They are a great option. However, I think there are some other better options out there. So let's jump to category number 4. We've got shotguns. So I've got 3 different examples for shotguns as well. This one's a Stoeger M3K. It's basically a Benelli M4 clone, 3-gun ready shotgun. So it's a semi-automatic, inertia-driven shotgun. Love that shotgun, fired thousands of rounds through it with minimal issues. We're also going to talk quick about pump action shotguns, and then we're going to talk a little more impractical and not necessarily my recommendation, but something like this. Now this guy is a Typhoon Defense F12 shotgun, so it's a 12 gauge magazine fed AR style shotgun. I've done sporting clay competitions with this thing. I've done tactical shotgun matches with this thing. I ended up taking off the extended shell tube or the extended magazine tube. I believe I got 4 rounds in here. Let's go ahead and give her a blast. I think one thing that's important with these guys is make sure that your shotgun's reliable too. This guy's been pretty reliable. I've fired it a lot, so the springs and all the parts are really working in harmony together. This guy is a Rock Island T-Pass shotgun. I have a full review of this shotgun up online. It's a great one. It's been very fun. It's been very reliable so far. If I had to guess, I'd probably be somewhere around the 600 round mark right now. It's kind of like the one, if I want to do ammunition test, I have a video. I was actually shooting Dragon's Breath and I just decided to use this. There we go, another 4 rounds. I can't see anything, my glasses are all fogged up. T-Pass is pretty cool. Let's look at the last example. All right, this guy is a Typhoon Defense F12 shotgun. This thing's all sorts of space age, it's pretty cool. Basically functions like an AR. You have a bolt hold open, bolt catch on the left side, just like an AR. You got a magazine fed shotgun, so let's it's a little impractical. You have your safety selector right here on the side, and then you have your bolt release right over here. So, like I said, it operates like an AR. It's just big, it's bulky, but it's pretty dang cool. I think I got like 7 rounds here. Typhoon Defense F12 is a blast. Very fun shotgun. But like I said, the size of this thing makes it a little impractical as a home defense shotgun. The reason shotguns are number 4 on my list, and I know a lot of people prefer shotguns as their home defense, and I think, again, this is a top 5, so that means all these options are actually good home defense options. I'm just ranking them down to the one that I think is the best. So shotguns are a great option. The only problem is you're kind of limited on a couple things. Number 1, a shotgun with a full 18-inch or longer barrel can be a little bit unwieldy. And what I mean is that it's just a little long for good maneuverability. If you have a lot of twists and turns in your house, a lot of corners, stairwells, types of stuff, wherever you live, I don't know. Or if the threat is far away. So sometimes a threat might be a distance away from you. What if you live on a piece of property and you need to reach out and touch somebody that's far away? Right now, I know I'm kind of thinking of all these extreme examples. There's probably not a sniper outside waiting to intercept you, so you probably won't have to engage a sniper at your house. But unlike Hollywood shows, they have a limited spread pattern. Now, of course, that depends on the type of barrel you have, the chokes and all that. But realistic 18-inch barrel shotgun that's shooting buckshot is going to have a spread of something like this down a standard hallway, I don't know, 15, 20 yards, nothing more than that. So you can still easily miss somebody depending on your adrenaline. You're also limited on shots. Now, I do have my Typhoon F12 shotgun that has magazine, that's fed by magazines. It even has a 20-round drum, but there's a certain point of practicality. Are you going to keep that thing right next to your bedside with a 20-round drum? Yeah, shotguns can be absolutely devastating. That's why they're such good home defense firearms. They're also very versatile. You can shoot birdshot, you can do sport shooting with them, target shooting, shoot clays, or you can use them as a home defense firearm. So, and you could choose so many different loads. I would not recommend Dragon's Breath for home defense. All right, so next up on the list, and number 3, is the full-sized AR-15. Now, when I say full-size, I mean at least pretty much a 16-inch barrel. It's the full rifle size. Now, AR-15 is an awesome rifle, and I think it's an excellent, excellent choice for home defense. And there's kind of a misconception that I had a while back. Now, when I first got into shooting when I first got into YouTubing, I did a video on AR-15 for home defense, and I mentioned something about over-penetration. And one thing that I definitely want to bring up again is it's far from the truth. The 5.56 is such a small round that the bullet pretty much fragments as soon as it impacts something. So when you shoot something hard with a 5.56, more than likely it's going to explode on impact. And there's actually not a super deep penetration because it's such a light round. Now, it'll go through things like armor plates and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. Once it makes its first impact, it doesn't necessarily want to keep going and going and going because it's so light. So it loses its velocity very quickly once it actually impacts something. So AR-15, you have good magazine capacity size. This is the ETS. It has a little coupler on the sides. You can couple multiple magazines together. So again, one nice thing about the ARs is they're fast follow-up shots, extremely light recoil. and you can actually shoot a really decent distance with it. That really helps with protecting the homestead, and that even protects with other predators, things that are outside, things that might be far away from you that you still need to engage from your house or your property. So AR-15, awesome option. This guy right here, this is the Liberty Bell Freedom 15. Now I put this thing through the torture test. If you can see, I mean, it's all covered in, it's burnt. I fired this thing with a flamethrower, ran it over with my truck, threw it into a lake, or threw it into a pond, threw it on top of rocks, and the thing's still kicking. It's a little bent. It's kind of curves to the left a little bit now. It bends to the left. But you know what? She still runs. She runs well. Now the only problem with an AR-15 is how loud it is. This guy just has a flash hider on the front. It's not a compensator. On my home defense firearm, I like to run suppressed. It's just what I like. Let's go on to number 2. Check it out real quick. So this is one of the ETS clear magazines, and this is a Glock magazine, but this is how quick you can load up these magazines without even handling the ammunition. This is the ETS cam speed loader. This is the pistol size loader. All you do, you take the magazine, stick it in the loader, make sure it's seated well. Then you take your box of rounds right here. With your box of rounds, just go through and scoop them right up, right out of the tray. So I'm gonna do 10 rounds just like that. And all you do is you just hold it upside down, put the little slider majigger on there, and then you just slap them in. If you wanna keep going to load more than 10 rounds, scoop up another 10 rounds, boom, just like that. So now for number 2, we have 20 rounds loaded for our number 2 selection. Number 2, we've got PCCs, pistol caliber carbines. So this guy right here, this is the PSA AKV FM, or the Foxtrot mic, FM9 little Shorty 9mm. This guy right here is a Foxtrot mic hybrid. This is pretty cool. And then this is actually a 22, so we're not really counting this, but this is the fun little Tippmann M422. This thing takes Scorpion magazines. It's got like an AK-47 or AK style platform. However, very fun to shoot because it actually shoots 9mm. For the most part, these Shorty PCCs are very compact. You do have longer barrels than your standard handgun or pistol barrels, so you do have better ballistics out of a 9mm round. Not to mention, most of these PCCs have a good capacity option. Very easy to shoot. And you can see the way this thing shoots, this thing plows those paddles to the side. So it definitely has a lot more velocity than your standard 5-inch or 4.5-inch barrel would have. Pretty cool. All right, let me show you one more example of a cool PCC. This guy, this is my Foxtrot mic FM9. This is the little finger chopper one. Again, I have another review of this guy already online. Absolutely love this little PCC. Okay, so there's no sights on this. That's because I harvested it. I harvested the sights for another rifle. I do have a new set of sights that came in from my Tac Pack. So shout out to Tac Pack for always being there and giving me something I need that I had no idea that I actually needed. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Anyways, okay, here's the mag we just loaded up with the ETS. This is basically an AR platform PCC, a little different, but again, very light recoiling. I'm just gonna have to kind of reference shoot this thing or point shoot this thing because I don't have sights. So, very fun. I only got a couple more, might as well finish them off. Yeah! Now we're gonna go to my final and favorite home defense category. Let's go to number 1. Basically, your Shorty rifles. So most of these are going to be in your AR platforms. This guy right here, this is the CMMG Descent. This one's chambered in 5.56, and I have my Rex Silentium MG7K suppressor right there on the tip. Now what's nice about these rifle caliber carbines is you get the ballistic benefits of a rifle round, except you also get the compact maneuverability of being a shorter rifle or pistol. Whether you want to SBR these things or keep them pistols, totally up to you. These guys, they're obviously still pistols, they're not SBRs. So that said, extremely fun to shoot. Favorite, these are my bedside guns right here. These are made by Cox Arms USA. This is the Wolf chambered in 5.56, and then this right here is the bedside gun. This is basically the same thing, except this is chambered in 300 blackout. I have the EOTech on there. This is the 300 blackout version, so it's got a little 300 blackout reticle, holographic reticle. It's got a sweet Elfman trigger, very good adjustable, field adjustable trigger, and good charging handle. It looks good, feels good, nice and light. And they're pistols. There you have 10.5-inch barrels, but they're very compact. And the 300 blackout is absolutely one of my favorites. So let's do some quick demos. Demo number one, this is the CMMG Descent. This guy's chambered in 5.56, has a side charging handle right here. Not to mention, extremely soft recoil. This guy has the radial delay blowback, which is significantly softer feeling than the standard AR-15 bolt carrier. This is a bufferless bolt carrier group as well. What I have on the front, this is the Blackout Defense hybrid muzzle brake slash flash hider, and it's also chemo, so I can slap the suppressor right on there. Let's do a quick 5 rounds. This is the Viridian GDO 30 green dot optic. So I'm just gonna shoot the ground. I think I got some, I don't wanna shoot my steel this close up. Awesome shooter. Let's test out some of the other ones real quick. So this guy right here, this is my Cox Arms USA Wolf, chambered in 5.56. Again, nice compact pistol. This guy has the Primary Arms ACSS G2. This is the Micro Prism. Now Cox Arms USA has really tuned their ARs. They feel amazing. Extremely light recoiling, comfortable. Let me fire off this last one real quick. All right, last but not least, let's check out that 300 blackout. So this is the 300 blackout Cox Arms USA. Absolutely my #1 bedside gun. It's seen probably somewhere 600-700 rounds through it. 300 blackout's quite a bit more expensive than 5.56. But I don't remember if I have subsonics in there or if I have supersonics, but we'll see. Supersonic for sure. Let's test out a quieter configuration. Now what happens when you put the Rex Silentium MG7 suppressor on the 300 blackout and stick in some subsonic ammunition? It's so quiet. These things still hit so hard. Excellent option for home defense. I love the suppressor on it. The 300 blackout is a hard hitting round. So #1 option for home defense, I would have to say, is going to be your compact ARs, whether it's an AR pistol, short barreled rifle, something like that. They're maneuverable, and again, if you need to defend the homestead, if you need to defend the woods around you, your farm fields, you got to take out predators. 300 blackout 5.56 is a great option. They can reach out and touch somebody, touch something, whereas it's also great for inside the home. All these options are actually really good home defense options, and I wouldn't gawk any of them because, to be honest, I've used all of them for home defense myself. I still carry a pistol on my night table. I still carry my Glock 45 everywhere. Sometimes I switch it out and carry my 45 suppressed as well. So I think they're all great options. I think the difference is you just got to figure out what kind of situation that you want to prepare for, what you want to defend for. I've seen actual security footage of home invasions of 10 or more people bum rushing the homeowner through the door and then fighting them off with the AR-15. So capacity does matter. You don't want to give them any benefit of the doubt. You want to be the one that's over-prepared. You want to make this the most unfair fight you can. That's my stance on it. Thank you all so much. I'll see you guys later.